ladies. How's everybody doing? Are you getting tired of being stuck at home? I know I have been, and I think the hardest part about being at home is not getting to see our church family and our friends and those that we love, and not being able to get out and about. But you know, God has given us a time right now that we might see as hard, difficult, different, but as a Christian and as a Christian woman, how can we see this as good? And I have been studying, we've all been studying brokenness, the heart God revives. And we did chapters 3 and 4 this past month. And I was thinking, this is hard. How can I talk about humility and brokenness when all of us kind of feel that right now? We kind of feel like we've lost a lot. I know in my home, we have 2 seniors, Maddie graduating from college this year in just a month, and Lauren was supposed to be graduating from high school. There was all kinds of competitions that were getting ready to take place that our kids had prepared for. They feel like they've lost a lot. So many activities that have gone on that we've missed with church, maybe in in their homes. People have lost jobs, and then some have lost their lives from this virus. But if we can think about what is God trying to teach us through this and see it in a different perspective, and maybe through the broken heart, God can use it for His glory. And when I read chapter 3 again, I've read this book 100 times it feels like, but I always reread and get ready for when we're going to have our meeting, and I reread those chapters, and once again the quote from chapter 3 stuck out to me. It said, "Broken men and women have nothing to protect and nothing to lose." Right now, I feel like I'm in protection mode. We want to protect those at home, and whoever's around us, or even ourselves, from this virus, from what's out there, the fear. And remember when we talked about last time about living with the roof off, walls down mentality as a Christian woman, or even as a Christian man? But living that life where we're looking up and recognizing the one who's truly in control. And we prayed that God would allow us to live that way. And I feel like He's showing us right now, this time that we have to live that in as a full example to us, that right now we are not in control of anything. We don't know what each day holds. We can't plan for tomorrow. We can't plan for next week. We can't even plan for next month. Right now, it's just sometimes hour by hour. So, what can we do? Well, when we were talking earlier about that quote, broken men and women have nothing to protect and nothing to lose, the words that stuck out to me the most, especially was the first one, was protect, because I'm wanting to protect everything at home. Lauren and Kyle are both working at Food City still, and they're working some long hours, and I think, God, should I be keeping them at home, protecting them from what could be out there? And then Lauren and Kyle come home and share different things that the Lord opened doors there and opportunities to share the love of Christ, and just being there for the people instead of quitting, which several people have quit, and they've had to hire all new people, and being a faithful worker for the Lord, even in that light, as a testimony, and being thankful for even a job. And they're not really mine anyway. The things that I have within my home that God has given to me are not mine, really. I just have to trust the Lord to just protect them and take care of them, and pray that they can be a light right now in this darkness that many people are just afraid and fearful. So we're in protection mode in that way. And every day, daily, in so many different other areas, just to even live, we've got to just pray. And we can't live in fear. If we live in fear, we're not going to do anything for the Lord. And right now, that's what it's all about. I truly believe all that's been taken away from us, that we feel like is being taken away, which was really never ours anyway. Nothing here on earth is ours. Everything was given to us by God. That everything taken away is to make us just realize the true importance of who is most important, who controls everything and anything in our lives and in this world. It's the Lord. So when I looked at that quote again, protect and nothing to lose, well, you know, just like we talked earlier, so much that we feel like that we've lost. And I wanted to read 2 Timothy. Let's see if I can get to it real quick. Okay, so 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind." We can't live in fear because we'll fail to see the opportunities that the Lord has before us to be a light and witness to Him. If we live in fear, we'll live all huddled up in our home, only thinking about ourselves and what we're wanting to protect within our home, instead of seeing this as an opportunity to reach out, to think outside our little boxes of how we can love people and minister to them without ever having physical contact with them. How to be a blessing outside of your own walls. You know, my kids, Lauren has been sharing off and on too about brokenness, and I encourage you to read what she shared on Facebook. But one thing I want to pull us back to is even in chapter 4 of our study, Nancy DeMoss goes through several different things to read in comparison to a proud person and a broken person. And one of the quotes in that first chapter was, "Pride is the greatest of all evils that beset us. Of all of our enemies, it is that which dies the slowest and hardest is pride." And through this, she gives different comparisons of a proud and a broken person. And I want to encourage you. Some of you might have already done this, but I encourage you to go back through it. Go back through this truly with a heart of humility, of knowing that He's the King of Kings, He's on the throne. God, really look at my heart right now in this situation and time, because you might have done this a couple of weeks ago before the virus really came and affected us. To really look at my heart, and maybe God can start to really revive our hearts, because revival begins in me, in you. And if we want to see Him heal this land, revival has to be pricked on our own heart to know that we're all sinners. No sin is greater than the others. It's equal all in God's eyes. And to know that no one of us is greater than the other. To humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and He shall lift you up, says James 4:10. You know, just remember why God has you at home. And if you don't know why, to ask the Lord to humble you to see why. Though we cannot understand why we are where we're at, and it can be a challenge because you can't just go and do what you want to do all the time. You know, that's relinquishing something there, though, because we're proud in the fact that we can do things on our own a lot. But you know what? We can't do anything outside of Christ. And until we get to that and really are humbled and show a broken heart and spirit, God can't do a work. You know, it's through the valleys that I've learned when I've had different struggles throughout life. It is truly through those valleys where we draw closer to Christ. And in this season right now that we're in, with all that's going on, draw closer to the Lord. Spend more time in His Word and pray. Spend more time with your family. Don't all be in different rooms. Get to know your mate a little bit more. Learn to love each other in a sweeter way. In your home, be creative. I see so many of you cooking and painting and doing so many different things, even with your kids. But find a way to be creative. Find a way to be creative with reaching out to love others. Find a way to glorify Christ. Think outside the box. And I want to read real quick. It's got a little longer than I wanted to. But in Ephesians 5:15 through 21, it says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." We can see that. "Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always for all things unto God and the Father in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God." And the fear of God is not, "Oh, I'm trembling, I'm scared to death." No, it's fearing and reverencing Him, that He's in control. He is an all-powerful and all-knowing God. He is going to protect us. He will take care of us. And if His will is different than what we thought it was going to be, and it might even be harder, trust Him. Learn to trust Him and to find joy in that and comfort and peace. I love you, girls. Just continue on with chapters 5 and 6. And I'm praying that even if we can't meet until May, that we can meet and share all that God has shown us through this study, through this season we're going through maybe even this difficult time that it's caused a lot of people. But I'm excited and I want you maybe to even journal what God showed you. Take the time throughout the day at home and share a sweet joy that God showed you. Share how God maybe broke you, how He even humbled you, how He is working on you. And when we get together, we can sit around and praise Him and worship Him for keeping our hearts humble before Him and having humility, but walking in His light. I love you, girls, and I look forward to when we're all together again. And I don't like the phrase, "this is our new normal," because this isn't going to be the new normal. It's going to be different. The season will change. Times change. Things change. But redeem the time that God has for you right now. Redeem the time. It's a gift. Find this time as a time to soak Him up and to draw closer to Him and to fall in love all over again with your first love. Take the time He's given you. It's a gift. Love you. Miss you, girls. See you soon.